Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno's top 10 Kickstarters of the month. So before I jump into this list, I do have a Kickstarter coming up August 30th for By Visibility, a bisexual comic book anthology. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's 9 stories of different bisexual storylines, ranging from romance to high fantasy. So hopefully you guys could go check that out. And if you're a comic book creator trying to launch a Kickstarter, I'm also a Kickstarter consultant. So if you want to hear more about that, you can message me or DM me. Now, jumping into the top 10. So first, I do have a couple of friends that do have Kickstarters live right now, and I don't like being biased on the show, so I usually mention it before we get into the top 10. First up, we have Red Knight, and this is by Justin. If you're just looking for pure superhero fun, also in a setting that you normally don't get, it's not New York, it's not California, it's Virginia, go check out Red Knight. Moving on to Oz issue 2. So Oz issue 1 blew up on Kickstarter, and issue 2 only a day live so far as I record this, and it is blowing up, and rightfully so. It's a great book. It puts a spin on Wizard of Oz, where we get to see a veteran character who has PTSD dealing with the familiar settings of Wizard of Oz. So definitely go check that one out. I love David's work, and I hope we get to see even more Kickstarter books from him. Now, moving into the top 10, number 10 for me is Killtopia issue 4. Another book that has done very, very well on Kickstarter, and glad to see even more issues on Kickstarter. One of my favorite things about the platform, or projects to see on the platform, is to see franchises continue. You see a lot of issue 1s on Kickstarter, but do you see an issue 4 or 5? A little bit more rarely. So I'm glad to see more from Killtopia. I do believe I've actually highlighted this title on this show in the past. It is a cyberpunk book based in Japan, as we get to see these people try to fight to get power over this mecha. And the artwork is a lot of fun and different, and I just like the style of the book overall. Moving on to number 9, which is FairyFare issue 1. So this is a fairy storyline, but the twist is that they have an app, a phone app that they're running. And the artwork, I really enjoyed the colors. I liked how vibrant it was, and that's something that really pulled me to this Kickstarter, especially the thumbnail, but also definitely the different style of storytelling. We've seen fairy stories before, but to see technology and magic coexist is always a lot of fun. So that is my number 9 pick. Moving on to number 8, we have Sidekicks, issue 7. So speaking of series that have been going on for a while, I also believe I've talked about Sidekicked on the show before, and this has to do with the point of view of, guess what, the sidekick. And this seems like just pure superhero fun, and then also you have a mix of aliens joining the crew here that they have to fight, and also the artwork is just super solid for this one. Moving on to number 7, which is She. So this is a series that's been going on for a very long time by Billy Tucci, and he's also done other platforms to showcase She as well, but this is the Omnibus. So if you want to get a collection of, again, a book that's been going on for a while, go check this one out. It's a samurai story and definitely has a nice old school feel to it. Moving on to number 6, which is Heartstruck, a graphic novel. This is a veteran PTSD story as well, and this is written actually from the point of view of a veteran. And I just really like the art style for this one, and I am a sucker for a good psychological storyline and also a military storyline as well. So that is number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is Man-Child, issue 1. This is described as a Stan Lee throwback Silver Age comic, and right from the visuals, you really do get that vibe where you feel like you're reading an old Fantastic Four comic book. And that's something that really drew me to this book, just to kind of have a modern twist on Silver Age storytelling. So that is number 5. Moving on to number 4, of course I had to add this to the list. Lady Death has a current campaign on. It is called Sacrificial Annihilation, and Lady Death is one of the biggest comic book projects on the platform. I don't even know if I have to say much more than that. Just go pick it up, see what the craze is about. There's some wonderful artwork, an interesting story as well of a character selling their soul and being trapped in hell and being created to become Lady Death. So definitely go check out that series. And it's also an issue 1, so maybe a jumping on point as well. So moving on to number 3, which is another omnibus actually, and that is Hack and Slash, The Big Hack Energy Omnibus Volume 2. So they've already done Volume 1. I am a huge Hack and Slash fan. It was definitely one of the first indies I read, so it has a special place in my heart. I am a big fan of the final girl genre and horror in general, and Tim Seeley's writing. So this is just all wins around. And something I've enjoyed about Kickstarter is seeing other companies and bigger creators use the platform either for collections or new series as well. But we've definitely been seeing collections a lot from Image/Top Cow products, so not surprised to see that from Hack and Slash as well. So this is a great opportunity to try out a great final girl horror slasher comic book. So moving on to number 2, which is Girls Have a Blog. Another kind of omnibus collection, but what's different about this one is that this is collecting a webtoon, webcomic styled book. And I really like the concept for this one. It's just two starving artists, trying to make it big and navigating relationships and just being in your early 20s. And I love slice of life books, so to have an opportunity to make this a printed comic and not just a web comic, I always think is great. And the art style looks really great. I really like the colors, especially for this one. So that is number 2. Moving on to my number 1 pick, which is Bullet, a 40-page superhero romance comic book. I am a sucker for a good superhero book. I'm a sucker for a good romance book. Put it both together. Of course, I'm going to put this as number 1 on my list. You have Kath Lobo, a great artist, and I feel like up-and-coming artist, drawing this comic as well. And the concept was super interesting. It's a Silver Age superhero where we get to see him retell his story, retell his superhero adventures and how he fell in love. So we know the whole Barry and Iris story. We know Lois and Clark. So to get a new indie spin on that and tell it from a future point of view, I thought was a really interesting concept. And again, the art was really good and just a lot of genres that I enjoy, and just the look of the book seemed like a lot of fun. So that is my number 1 pick. Let me know in the comments below, what Kickstarters are you backing this month? What are your favorite Kickstarters live right now? And hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Definitely follow me on Twitter or Facebook. Go check out my comics like Father Like Daughter and They Call Her Dancer, and also my webtoon for free, Slice of Life, on Webtoon. And every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is our comic book podcast, Comic Book Weekly, where we discuss everything comic book news and the comic books for that week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.